Jeramie West of Jeramie West Performance Horses.
How do you get started training horses?
I got started training horses after, I never set out to train horses. I got started training horses because I took a lot of lessons as a youth, and I rode race horses and dressage horses, and I showed a lot. And eventually I ended up at farms where there were youth riders that needed assistance, and they asked me for help, and that's kind of where I started on the path to training horses. And you start as a riding instructor. For me, I started as a riding instructor, really, more than a horse trainer.
What is your specialty?
I think everybody that is in the horse business for a long time finds a niche that they feel the most confident in and the most comfortable in. I started when I training anybody who needed it. I had to make a living. And then I found that, I think elementary school teachers and kindergarten teachers are really good at teaching kindergartners. And for me, I didn't feel I was as good with the youngest riders as I was with the high school riders. So I found that novice youth and young teenage riders and adults was a better fit for me. I admire the people that can teach beginners because it's not my specialty. So for me, it's that middle group. I think college professors are really good, and there's people much better than I am at what they do and in specializing in their particular fields. So for me, I'm right there in the middle. I like to teach people how to communicate with their horses.
How much time do you spend training one horse?
That depends so much on what the goal for that horse is. I think if it's a trail horse and it needs to be a good citizen on the trail, it doesn't take near as long to get them started as, say, if you're going to do Grand Prix jumping or a full, Grand Prix dressage horse or a reining horse. It's a lifetime commitment to the horse. The horse will tell you how much time to spend. I've seen people do 100-day Mustang makeovers where they can do amazing things in 100 days. For most of us, it's several years to get a horse with enough knowledge to be predictable in any situation that it's put in.
What has been your greatest challenge?
My greatest challenge, horses are basically straightforward. If you set out a good goal for them and you guide them effectively through that goal and allow for them to make athletic maneuvers and advancements, all horses tend to be pretty good. There's a few tougher horses. Those ones actually get your heart in the end because you've worked so hard on them. They tend to, really get a hold of you, and you give them the extra effort. But I think to answer your question, the greatest challenge is always teaching riders to communicate effectively with their horses. They have to learn the skills and the mentality and the quietness and the wisdom to be good leaders for their horses. I think that's the bigger challenge.
What makes a successful trainer?
Two things: patience and a sense of humor. If you don't have either of those, this is not the right business. If you see yourself loving to work outside and you see yourself wanting to embrace the sport and the art of riding, it takes so much patience, and you're always looking for those answers that'll unlock the puzzles. And then a sense of humor. It's got to be fun. It has to be fun for the horse. It has to be fun for the rider. They could have a four-wheeler or a boat, and those don't require interaction with a living being. I think if you can bring patience and bring a sense of humor, you'll have a great time.
Thank you, Jeramie West of Jeramie West Performance Horses.
Thank you, Jenny.